Good afternoon, hello, welcome to the TriathlonDan YouTube channel and welcome to the brand new home of UK Bike Fit. Now Dan, I don't know how's best to introduce you, whether you are a bike fitter or whether you are a vlogger.
Absolutely.
People who've been around for a few months might remember this face from covering the 7-day world record attempt by Lee Timmis. Dan, thank you very much for being a vlogger for a week, we really appreciate it.
No worries.
I feel like I don't really have to introduce you as much now since you've been on the channel for a week. But anyway, we are in Dan's fabulous new facility. So Dan was based at our local bike shop, UK Bike Fit, but he's recently moved because he's got loads of plans for the future, which required him to have a bit more space. So space you have got.
Space I've got.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Do you want to talk us through, Dan, where we are, what you do, and perhaps we'll give some people a sneak peek of what you've got planned in the future?
Yeah, sure. So we're in Matlock, just outside of Matlock for those that know, on the way to Tansley.
I'll leave a thing down below.
Leave a thing. So yeah, like really nice new building. It's in a really nice setting, out in the sticks, so a little bit tricky to find, but yeah, it's really peaceful and relaxing. But yeah, this is the studio. Okay,
Dan, I've just panned around the room, but would you explain what you've got going off in different areas, because there's so many things?
Yeah, so this is coffee table.
Yep.
For drinking coffee and nothing else. No, so this is off my desk. This is the new piece of kit that we've got. This is a Gebiumized saddle pressure mapping system. So we had saddle pressure mapping before, but this just allows us to take it to the next level. So saddle pressure is really important, not just for saddle problems, but for the whole of the fit. Like, it can give you some really insightful data as to stability on the bike and supported. Like, if the saddle's more supported, the rest of the body's going to be a bit more relaxed, and you're going to be more powerful and more comfortable. So this just allows us to see saddle pressure in a little bit more depth. So this is a before and after of a customer that we did last week.
So people coming in for saddle pressure mapping, like separate to a bike fit, so you don't need a whole bike fit, you just come and get your saddle.
You can. I try, if you've not had a fit before here, I try and encourage a fit first, because your riding position has such a massive influence on saddle pressure that you could have the perfect saddle, but it's not quite in the right position and the saddle feels uncomfortable. So we could be going after something that's not really a problem if we do that, but you can do that. I think the most valuable thing to do is to do the saddle pressure mapping within a bike fit, so you can see what's happening to the saddle pressure as you're changing the position. That's really important.
And what I've also done is I've given Dan a couple of my jerseys for the wall in his office.
Yeah,
looks nice, doesn't it?
What did you get that one for again?
I don't know.
£3 on eBay.
Something like that. Yeah. Who are the jerseys, Dan?
We've got Katie Toft, multiple world champ, paracyclist, C1. Loads of stuff on the track. I can't remember all the events. World champion, and then Morgan Newbury, national time trial champ. Yeah, it's brilliant.
I asked Dan that because Dan used to have a GB jersey on the wall in his old place for the signature on that. You didn't know whose signature it was, did you?
Still don't.
No. Anyway, moving on further around. So onto the actual bike fitting stuff then. What is going off over here? That's your bike, isn't it? But
that's my bike, yeah. I quite enjoy. This is the fitting jig. So mainly used for like sizing appointments. So if you're not sure about what size of bike that you need or geometry of bike that you need, then this is really useful to work out the size of the bike before you spend any money on it, because bikes are expensive. If you buy the wrong size frame, it's a pretty expensive mistake to make, and it can cause a lot of problems. So this is the safe way to buy a bike, basically.
So if you're buying a bike, you come and sit on here, Dan tells you what size bike to buy, and then I'm assuming you then come back for a bike fit.
With an actual bike,
yeah. And you do some sort of deal for that, I take it?
Yeah, you get money off the fit if you've had a size before. So,
okay.
And then this is the jig.
And if you're really unlucky, you have to ride a red Trek. My dad rides a red Trek. That's how old this is. That's just an old person bike.
It's got good taste.
Yeah, which is also a new bit of kit that you've got.
Yeah, the kicker rollers. These are great. These just make it. Really, I got them because they're easy for fitting, because you can just take bikes on and off so quickly. Yeah. So that unlocks the front wheel, and then the bike just slides out. So there's no like taking wheels on and off, no dealing with cassettes and different speeds of drivetrain and all that sort of stuff.
It's all wasted time, isn't it, when you're faffing?
Yeah, but also like I've ridden these and they're brilliant. Like they're so good. I want some for home now, because they just give you a much better feel. Like they're not like proper rollers where you're all over the place, but the back wheel does give you a little bit of movement.
Yeah.
So it just breaks up that pressure on
A
the
bit more
saddle.
realistic for somebody sitting on it and riding than a turbo.
More realistic, more comfortable. They're brilliant, yeah. If you want some, get in touch. I'll give you some money off.
There you go. Wahoo discount as well.
Wahoo discount.
You have actually just put up a Wahoo discount, haven't you, on your socials?
Doing one up until the end of the year. So 10% off all Wahoo stuff.
There you go. Get involved. You've got a rack of saddles. I see some of these I've tested on. I'd definitely run one of those on my bike all year round.
Yeah, it's the start, start of the saddle wall.
Yeah.
There's more saddles on the way. So looking to get a better selection. Like we've got some the main saddles that I tend to use for testing are the Gebiumite saddles in the top right there. There's another one on the range. They work really well with the pressure mapping, so I tend to use those a lot. But yeah, going to get a few more saddles.
So this means that if somebody comes in with some saddle issues or wants to test different saddles, you can use the pressure mapping and those saddles, so they don't have to buy one until they've tested them.
Yeah, exactly. And the demo ones, like quite often I'll just lend to people if they have a fit. I'll just say, I'll take that for a few weeks and try it out. Yeah. So it's, again, like you don't have to spend money on a saddle.
Note to self, if I'm ever short of a saddle or two. I thought you'd moved in here, Dan. Is this not your bed?
This is my bed when I fall out with Amy, yeah. It's a physio couch, so...
Because all good bike fits start off the bike.
It should do, yeah. All the bike fits should start off the bike. So this is like the main bit of the fit, basically, where we sort of figure out what your biomechanics are like, what your flexibility is like, core strength. Because if you don't know that, like, you won't know what position you need to be in on the bike or what's going to be best for you. So this is really important. Yeah.
Wicked. And then shoes as well. So you do custom insoles still, don't you?
Semi-custom, yeah. So they're moldable.
Yeah.
Moldable insoles, and then the shoes, lake cycling shoes that we stock.
Yeah.
They're great for fit. Like lake cycling shoes were just built on size and fit first, rather than trying to shave every gram and all that. They're still performance. A lot of them are still performance road shoes and mountain bike shoes, but in terms of fit, they just give you so much more options in shape, width, size. Like for a bike fitter, that's what you want.
Cool. So it looks like you've got everything pretty much covered. You've got stems and bars and stuff. We talked off camera about all the things you've got planned for the future, and I know you can only talk about some of that. So I don't put my foot in it. Dan, what can we tell people is coming up in the next few months at UK Bike Fit?
Okay. I still haven't said this to anyone, so this is an exclusive.
Exclusive, there you go. I'll pay you afterwards.
Yeah. So the first thing they're going to introduce is lactate testing. So lactate testing is really useful for finding out your specific zones. So for training, like you zone 1, zone 2, 3, 4, 5. And
for the average Joe like you and I, a lactate testing thing is really expensive. So unless you're using it all the time, unless you're Gustav Iden using it every session, it's not worthwhile buying. Whereas somebody like Dan, got loads of money, and you will buy a unit, and you can come and pay some money and have your lactate testing done, and then perhaps come back in a few months and have it done again, and you're not having to buy that expensive thing. You can just come in and have some testing done.
Yeah, we used it on the world record, or the physiologist used it on the world record when we were testing Lee. So in between every block of training.
What, have you stolen it from there then?
Yeah. Well, the kit from Loughborough. Yeah. After every block of training, Lee would repeat his test to see what improvements he's made and where his zones are for the next block of training. So everything was really specific.
Could be like a pre-winter, midway through winter, spring, or like a mid-race season, something like that.
Definitely do it before you start any block of serious training.
Yeah.
So you know where you're training at, you know where your zones are. You don't want to be guessing at your zones. If you're working in the wrong zone, like your training's basically useless. So it just gives certainty rather than trying to figure out zones.
Lactate testing then, what else?
Everything else is still classified information.
Got it. But I think whereas in the past I've been probably clear that you focus more on road bikes, that's not going to be the case ongoing, is it?
No.
Obviously your time spent doing this 7-day world record, working with the aerodynamics on the side of that, it's got you a lot of experience, hasn't it?
Yeah, so we're going to focus more on the performance side of things with aerodynamics. We've got some I'll not say the exact kit that we've got, but some aero testing kit coming. We're going to be working really closely with John, physiotherapist downstairs, who's got a 3D run lab.
We might see him later.
Yeah.
I was hoping to do something, but I've fallen over this morning on this morning's run. I'm not in a good way, so we'll do that another day.
No. So for triathletes, it's hopefully going to be a bit of a one-stop shop. John basically does what I do for runners.
So we're talking run efficiency, run gait, that sort of thing.
Yeah, full analysis. Like he's got a really cool piece of kit, which you'll see at some point.
Wicked, look forward to it.
For running and assessing runners. So that's great. So
and that's in the same building as here. So this is like a one-stop shop for triathletes, isn't it?
Hopefully,
perfect.
Like that's what we're sort of trying to offer people, basically.
I knew there's a reason I kept talking to you.
Yeah. You still pay double though.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine. Yeah, YouTube attacks. Okay, well that's a good overview, that isn't it, Dan? So if people want to get in touch with you, I'll leave your links in the description down below. You've got 10% off on Wahoo at the minute. Is there anything for Triathlon Dan fans? Can we do some sort of first person who watches this video and rings you up, get some sort of discount?
20% off the first person that quotes Triathlon Dan.
First person that quotes Triathlon Dan for a bike fit. You don't have to come in anytime soon, but you've got to book it. Right?
Yeah, you book in online, ukbikefit.com.
There you go. All right. Thanks, Dan. Genuinely, I've not negotiated that before this clip, so what better way than putting people under pressure? Thanks. All right. Thank you very much, Dan. Good to see you.
You too, mate.
Cheers.